Ardent supporters of technology innovation claim that it will lead to the creation of more jobs, while others believe that it will simply lead to more job losses. Because according to them, for every one job created by technology, 10 or more traditional jobs must have been lost. Well, whether or not this is true is not the focus for today. Rather, we would like to see it from the positive angle, which leads us to asking, can technology make unemployment history in Nigeria? Gbenga Session is the man destined to share with us how to make this happen. He is the Executive Director of Paradigm Initiative Nigeria. He originally trained as an electrical and electronic engineer at Obafemi Awolowo University. Gbenga has completed numerous courses, which includes Lagos Business School, Oxford University, Harvard University, and Stanford University. Welcome to Tech Trends.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Gbenga, unemployment in Nigeria and Africa, how alarming is it?
I think it's alarming enough that every time that we see the numbers, we doubt the numbers. So initially we used to know of 27% unemployment in Nigeria and 56% youth unemployment. But the recent numbers have said that unemployment is about 6.4%, with about 17 being underemployment. And the fact that there was a lot of argument about that, I think it speaks to the issue that definitely unemployment is a major, major problem. And what I say to people is that for one person who is unemployed, as far as he or she is concerned, unemployment in Nigeria is 100%. Because the story is that if you finish from school, you're not likely to get a job. And perception itself plays a major, major role in this.
How can technology help to resolve this?
Well, many ways. One is that technology provides low-hanging fruits in terms of skills. You have people, and I say this from experience, people that we have trained who basically get trained in data processing, in managing simple spreadsheets, who are able to go to offices to work in administration. That's one example. You can pick up technology skills. The other is you can actually learn high-end skills. You can learn programming. You can learn, any kind of high-end tech skill, either hardware or software, and then you can become really well paid for that. But the other option is you can also even start a web-based company. You can provide a service. Any kind of service can be provided online. You can have conversations about people who provide, say, for example, nanny services online. So usually you want to get a nanny, you have to call someone who knows someone. But you can just go to a website and check references. This person has 5 stars because she's worked before, no child has been maltreated in her hands and all that. And there's the last option, which we focus on a lot, which is basically digital jobs. The aspect of it is online work, where people who have work are able to split the work into different things. So I want someone to design a website for me, and I give the graphic designs to someone, I give the copy editing to someone, and they could be anywhere in the world, India, Pakistan, hopefully Nigeria, and then someone goes online and it takes the job, gets it done, and I pay them for it. So there are many, many entry points for technology and jobs in Nigeria. Okay,
I'm quite interested about the last one you mentioned, which is digital jobs.
Yes.
Are there Nigerians making money from that now?
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are various levels, like I said. There are people who just write. For example, there are reports that I write every year that I get paid for. My focus area is on ICT policy, but I'm not even, a very good example of people who make money from digital jobs. There are people who spend every hour of the day that they have available completing one online assignment or the other, and we are paid for it. A very good example. So we do digital jobs training at Paradigm Initiative Nigeria, and one of our students who, is a graduate from one of our ABBA programs came to Lagos for the training, and by the time he was done, he currently earns $4 an hour for every job that he does. Another person earns about $6 an hour for every job that that he completes. So there are people who are making money, and some of the volunteers that we actually work with to help with the training are people who have made a career out of digital jobs for themselves. People who have maybe tasted the 9 to 5, but have also learned that there's a 5 to 9. Right? There's a 9 to 5, but there's a 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. that they began to use for online work and all that. And they realized that, this 5 to 9 is more lucrative than 9 to 5. So they just threw out the 9 to 5 and basically used to 24 hours or anytime they're awake to do digital jobs.
Okay, but realistically speaking now, the technology platforms, how much people can they actually absorb to reduce the rate of unemployment?
I'll give you numbers. So we've got 50. So government says 56%, World Bank, government says 54%, World Bank says 56% youth unemployment in Nigeria.
That's high.
That's really high. We've got about say 40 million people in that category, 40 to 48 million, depending on who you speak with. Now, within that space, every one of them can find work. And I say that because every task that is put online is broken into micro tasks. So if you are able to, the rate of work that is going online, and one of the things that will happen by the next 10 years is that even Nigerian companies will begin to outsource their work online. Because you know that if I hire someone, I'll pay the person 150,000 naira, for example, to do this job, sit in my office, use my AC, use my power to charge their phone, make coffee in my space and all that, and I'll pay them at the end of a month, which kind of makes sense because they're adding value. But guess what? I could split that 150,000 into 4, convert it into rupees, dollars, pounds, and yen, and pay some other people to do 2 times that work.
But wouldn't that be exporting jobs that are already scarce?
Unfortunately, one of the major things that will happen as the world continues to grow is that work will be exported. Don't forget, typists used to be comfortable saying they could do 80 words per minute. Where are they right now? Unfortunately, there will be jobs. What I say to people is that any job that can be broken down into processes will become extinct and will be outsourced. It might be insourced in the sense that it's outsourced within a confined space, but before you know it, everyone is going to look at the bottom line at the end of the day. Where can I pay less for more quality if possible?
Benga, let's get practical.
Yes.
I'm watching this show
Yes.
and I'm unemployed. How do I get started?
Very simple. We've got a process. We say go to our website, paynigeria.org. When you get there, you will see a big banner that says digital jobs. But in case you forget, Pay Nigeria is easy to forget, right? Everybody knows about Doro. You Doro this, Doro that. Go to dorojobs.com. DOROJOBS.com. When you get there, you will see 2 options. One is you can sign up directly for an online work platform that already exists that you can.
Are these Nigerian platforms?
These are not Nigerian platforms. These are global platforms. Nigerian platforms, non-Nigerian platforms, all platforms are welcome. Because if you're going to do the work, you're not going to start looking for which one is going to do Elegba, which one is Surulere. The work that, in fact, what makes it more interesting is that this work can be anywhere in the world. And you provide a solution and you get rewarded for it. That's one option. If you already have skills that you can offer, you can sign up immediately and start doing it. But we have a middleman kind of opportunity where there are people who say, you know what, I have some skills, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things are quite interesting here and I'd like to get training for it. And we say, you know what, sign up and we'll invite you for training. We will train you in various areas. And after that training, what we've seen is that there are people who've come for the training, who've gone back to continue doing their work, their normal work. But there are people who've come for the training, a lot more people who've come for the training and who really don't have, somewhere else to go and have started working online immediately, which is what we hope will happen. That nobody has to start posting CVs and saying, I beg to apply.
Okay, Benga, but I'm interested about what India has done to become the global point for freelancing and online work. Yes. I mean, what lessons can we learn from that?
I think one major lesson we can learn is planning. One of the things that I've written a lot about is that you can't grow what you can't measure. Unfortunately, I don't think for a fact that Nigeria has been able to decide what exactly we need, say, over the next 10 years. So my question is, by 2025, where does Nigeria want to be with technology? When we articulate that, we can walk backwards. We can say, okay, we want to be here, right? It means we need 10,000, software engineers. We need 25,000 people doing this and that. And then we can walk backwards over the 10-year period. That's what India did. India found out what they needed in the future and began to train specifically for it. It means that what we need in 10 years is what would define school curriculum. Unlike what we have right now. I mean, I studied engineering in Nigeria, and what I did was basically the history of engineering, not engineering itself. I'm serious, And so the idea is, if we had thought, what do we need in 10 years, and we walk backwards, what does industry need? Then the academia can meet that need. That's what we must do in Nigeria. If we need 100,000 programmers by 2025, it means that if we have 10 years, we must get 10,000 programmers over 10 years, or say 0 in the first year because we're starting out. And we've got many platforms. We've got NYSC, we've got people coming out of secondary school. We've got many platforms that we can take advantage of to do this. But the problem is that we haven't exactly articulated, so we just go with any hunch that the new person, so the new need that DG thinks, you know what, I'll do 10,000, and then does 10,000. And while he's doing 10,000, he's able to do 1,000, and then there's a new DG, and that one says, you know what, we need 3,000, and does 1,000. But all this don't come together to form a fine basket of human capital. That's where we have a big problem.
All right, Benga, your final word.
My final word is, twofold. One, to government. Government, if you will not use policy to support innovation, please get out of the way. Let innovation happen. Don't stand in the way. And the second thing is that industry must make sure they influence policy, because at the end of the day, if you do anything and you don't influence policy to support innovation, what you're basically doing is that you're building a short-term solution, and long-term it won't be there. So we must see a very strong handshake between government and industry, and we must see the academia feeding in to make sense, not just graduating people, but giving people the skills they need over the next 5 to 10 years to solve our problems.
Thank you so much for coming to Tech Trends today.
Pleasure is all mine.
Adesoye sent in this mail and he says, I don't miss your show. How do I conserve my Nokia X Android phone battery? Okay, thank you, Adesoye, and I'm glad you said you always watch Tech Trends. In addition to what we have shared on previous editions of the show, the #1 battery drainer on all phones are background activities, so you need to keep them as low as possible. Now, that said, you should keep your display light low and moderate at all times, rather than making it full bright. And also, your backlight timer has to be set to go off when your phone is not in use. And finally, always perform a complete charge of your X phone, and as this helps recycle the already stored power in the phone. Question 2. Please, what can I do to have access to my Twitter account? It brings this information. Your request is understood, but it has been refused. Now, this simply means Twitter is telling you there's a problem somewhere. Sometimes it might mean that you have reached the maximum number of people you are allowed to follow at a particular point in time. And until some more people follow you, Twitter would always show you this error message. At other times, you might see this message because the Twitter software you have on your device is outdated, and until an upgrade is done, it may appear every now and then. Please keep those questions coming in via email, techtrends@channelstv.com, or our social media accounts as displayed on your screen. This is where we end today's show. Remember, you can watch these and past editions of the show on our YouTube channel. Do follow us on social media, and please keep those questions and feedback coming. My name is Chukwemeka Agbata. Until next time, think innovation.